On December 13, 2025, the uneasy calm in central Syria was shattered by a deadly ambush targeting American personnel near Palmyra. The attack marked a turning point, triggering one of the most significant U.S. military responses in the region in years. Despite progress against ISIS, the threat remains real for those serving in these dangerous outposts. The loss of American lives resonated deeply, prompting renewed resolve across the nation. This incident tested the new Syrian government, which had recently replaced Assad's regime and was working to stabilize the country in partnership with the U.S. As military planners scrambled to respond, the world watched, waiting for America's answer. On December 13th, a devastating ambush unfolded on a remote stretch of road near Palmyra, targeting a joint American-Syrian patrol. The convoy, moving through the arid Syrian landscape, was suddenly attacked by militants lying in wait, their assault both swift and brutal. The attack left 3 Americans dead and several others wounded, sending shockwaves through the ranks and across the United States. Medics rushed to treat the injured, while the grim task of recovering the fallen began under the harsh desert sun. Among those who lost their lives were Sergeant Edgar Brian Torres Tover and Sergeant William Nathaniel Howard, both remembered for their courage and dedication to duty. Also killed was Ayad Mansour Sakat, a civilian interpreter whose vital role bridged cultures and saved lives on countless missions. Their sacrifice brought the human cost of the conflict into sharp focus for the American public. Across the country, flags flew at half-staff, and communities gathered in candlelight vigils to honor the fallen, mourning not just soldiers, but sons, fathers, and friends. The attack underscored the persistent threat posed by ISIS. Despite the collapse of its so-called caliphate, the group's ideology continues to inspire violence, fueling attacks that destabilize the region and endanger coalition forces. These remnants of ISIS exploit the vast, unforgiving deserts of Syria, using the terrain to hide, regroup and plan new assaults against both coalition troops and local partners. Their tactics have evolved, making them a constant and unpredictable threat. For the families of the fallen, the loss is deeply personal, a void that can never truly be filled. Military funerals, marked by the presentation of a folded flag and the sound of taps, serve as solemn reminders of the price paid in the fight against terrorism. The mission to defeat ISIS is far from over. It demands unwavering vigilance, continued presence, and the resilience of those who serve on the front lines, often far from home and under constant threat. The ambush near Palmyra demonstrated ISIS's ability to adapt, strike unexpectedly, and inflict heavy losses, even as their numbers dwindle. For the United States and its allies, the resolve to confront this threat has only deepened. The memory of those lost fuels a renewed commitment to the mission, ensuring that their sacrifice will not be in vain. 6 days after the deadly ambush that shocked the U.S. military community and sent ripples through the chain of command, the response was swift and resolute. The world watched as American forces prepared for a mission that would send a clear message to adversaries everywhere. The U.S. launched Operation Hawkeye Strike, a powerful, targeted response against ISIS in central Syria. Under the cover of darkness, fighter jets roared into the sky, their mission, to deliver justice and restore deterrence. At U.S. Central Command, the mission was clear: punish those responsible for the attack and send a warning to any who might consider similar acts. Senior officials pored over intelligence, ensuring every detail was accounted for. The objective was to cripple ISIS's operational capabilities, striking at the heart of their command structure and logistics. Explosions lit up the night as precision strikes hit their marks. For many, the operation was deeply personal, rooted in justice for the fallen, honoring the sacrifice of those lost in the ambush. The memory of their bravery fueled the determination of every pilot and planner involved. But it was also about the defense of national security, ensuring that threats to American lives and interests would not go unanswered. Security was heightened at home and abroad. Intensive intelligence work enabled U.S. and partner forces to pinpoint key ISIS targets, from command centers to weapons depots. Analysts worked around the clock, coordinating with local allies to ensure accuracy and effectiveness. The focus was on precision, minimizing civilian risk while maximizing the impact on enemy infrastructure. Every strike was carefully calculated, with pilots monitoring targeting systems in real time. The aftermath revealed the effectiveness of the operation: destroyed vehicles, shattered compounds, and a significant blow to ISIS's ability to operate in the region. Admiral Brad Cooper, CENTCOM commander, emphasized the U.S. commitment to pursuing those who threaten American lives. He made it clear that the United States would not hesitate to act when its people or interests were endangered. Operation Hawkeye Strike was more than a series of airstrikes. It was a message to the world. Attacks on Americans would be met with overwhelming force and unwavering resolve. The operation's scale and speed left no doubt about U.S. resolve. Within hours, multiple targets were hit, and the world saw the reach and power of American military might. For ISIS, the cost of aggression had just risen dramatically. Their fighters were left in disarray, their infrastructure shattered, and their leadership on the run. The world took note of America's swift and decisive action, as headlines flashed across the globe, and leaders reacted to the bold demonstration of U.S. strength and resolve. Operation Hawkeye Strike was a powerful demonstration of American military might, bringing together advanced technology, strategic planning, and overwhelming force. The world watched as the United States mobilized its assets, sending a clear signal of its readiness and capability to respond to threats. In a meticulously coordinated assault, over 70 ISIS targets were identified and struck across Deir ez-Zor, Raqqa, and the outskirts of Palmyra. The operation unfolded with precision, as waves of airstrikes lit up the night sky, targeting enemy strongholds and disrupting their command centers. The U.S. Air Force deployed F-15E Strike Eagles and A-10 Warthogs, both renowned for their effectiveness in close air support and precision bombing. These aircraft, supported by Army AH-64 Apache helicopters and the formidable HIMARS rocket systems, unleashed a relentless barrage on ISIS positions, ensuring no escape for the militants. More than 100 precision-guided munitions were employed throughout the operation. Each strike was carefully planned to maximize impact on enemy infrastructure while minimizing collateral damage, reflecting a commitment to both military effectiveness and humanitarian responsibility. The Royal Jordanian Armed Forces played a crucial role, joining the coalition with their F-16 fighter jets. Their pilots flew alongside American forces, targeting ISIS positions and demonstrating the strength of international cooperation in the fight against extremism. This partnership not only amplified the operation's military effectiveness, but also sent a powerful political message. The world saw a united front, with regional allies standing shoulder to shoulder against a common enemy, reinforcing the bonds of trust and shared purpose. The collaboration between American and Middle Eastern forces was a testament to the resolve of the coalition. Together, they presented a formidable barrier to terrorism, showing that unity and cooperation are key to lasting security in the region. Behind the scenes, the operation's success depended on deep intelligence gathering and seamless coordination. Analysts worked around the clock, monitoring enemy movements and providing real-time updates to commanders, ensuring every strike was both timely and effective. The message to ISIS was unmistakable: there would be no safe haven, no place to regroup or hide. The coalition's vigilance and determination left the enemy with nowhere to run. Through unwavering resolve and international solidarity, the U.S. and its allies reaffirmed their commitment to regional security, making it clear that together they would stand against any threat to peace and stability. Operation Hawkeye Strike placed Syria's new government in a pivotal position. President Ahmad al-Sharaa, having replaced Assad, supported the U.S. strikes against ISIS, marking a dramatic shift in U.S.-Syrian relations. Damascus issued a statement calling for stronger international cooperation against terrorism, not condemnation. This alignment signaled a new era of pragmatic partnership, with both nations recognizing their shared interest in defeating ISIS. The cooperative stance allowed for better intelligence sharing and operational coordination. For the first time in years, the U.S. mission in Syria had a willing partner in Damascus. This new dynamic could pave the way for a more stable and secure future for Syria. In the aftermath, President Trump delivered a forceful message: any attack on Americans would be met with overwhelming retaliation. His statement, echoed by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, left no doubt about U.S. resolve. Further strikes were promised if necessary, keeping pressure on ISIS and its remnants. Admiral Brad Cooper emphasized the operation's core purpose: protecting the U.S. and its interests by degrading ISIS's ability to threaten Americans and partners. The dual messaging reassured the American public and warned adversaries. The swift response honored the fallen and demonstrated America's commitment to its people. The world was put on notice. The U.S. would relentlessly pursue those who seek to do it harm. Operation Hawkeye Strike was just one battle in the ongoing war against ISIS and extremist groups in the Middle East. The broader campaign, Operation Inherent Resolve, focuses on enabling local forces in Iraq and Syria to secure their own countries. In the past 6 months, over 80 operations in Syria have targeted terrorist threats, keeping ISIS off balance. Even between the ambush and the retaliation, U.S. and coalition forces conducted 10 operations, killing or detaining 23 terrorists. Sustained pressure prevents ISIS from regrouping and planning complex attacks. The ultimate goal, the lasting defeat of ISIS, dismantling its networks and supporting local security. Hawkeye Strike was a powerful response, but the fight continues. At the heart of this story is the human cost of conflict. The deaths of Sergeant Torres Tovar, Sergeant Howard, and Ayad Sakat brought grief to families and communities across America. Their remains were returned home in a solemn ceremony at Dover Air Force Base, attended by President Trump. The nation mourned, honoring their sacrifice and service. Families spoke of their loved ones' dedication and belief in the mission. Operation Hawkeye Strike provided a measure of justice, ensuring their deaths would not go unanswered. While the pain of loss endures, their sacrifice was not in vain. The nation's promise remains to honor the fallen and hold their enemies to account.